believe you two took that raving lunatic seriously. What do you think this is?
Hi everyone, for lack of knowledge. And today I wanted to talk to everybody about Valentine's Day. Now, Valentine's Day is a very popular holiday that has made its way around the entire world. On every single continent, you can find multiple countries and people that celebrate this as the supposed day of love. But upon deeper inspection of the Valentine's Day holiday, you find some very interesting things. Now, in looking into some of this stuff, I know you may get to the point, like me, that you're like, man, is it everything? Does Satan have to have his hand in every single thing that we do? But thinking about it a little deeper, it's really natural and understandable. We gave a degree of our dominion of this earth over to the serpent when we obeyed him instead of God. We can't forget that God gave us dominion over the earth. He brought all the animals before Adam, and Adam named all of them, and we were the caretakers of the garden, and all of God's creation he put under mankind. But we were duped into giving a degree of this authority to the enemy when we obeyed him instead of our creator. This is also represented later in scripture in other places. One in particular is when Satan took Jesus up into a high place when he tempted him, and he said that if you would just bow down and worship me, I'll give you dominion over all the kingdoms of the earth. It's noteworthy that Jesus did not call him a liar, because Jesus fully understood that he had sway over all the kingdoms of the earth. So it's understandable that Satan is the lowercase g god of this earth. And so looking at it from these spiritual eyes and from that perspective, we see why so many things in our world stem back to giving some type of honor to the enemy.
Witches, warlocks, congratulations! You have been matched. Tonight you and your paramour shall go to the woods and reenact the courting. Now what that means is that each couple shall go into the woods and disrobe and anoint themselves and lie under this blessed Lupercalian moon, absorbing the potency of the goddess Selene herself. Abstinence is encouraged in anticipation of the powerful release that concludes Lupercalia. However, should couples be moved to unite, well, I'm sure the Dark Lord would not oppose.
The milk and blood are for the purification. The oysters and figs are for fertility and virility. The cherries are for popping.
A word or two of caution. Each couple must stay together the entire night, and above all, do not stray from the path. All manner of lust-filled creatures stalk the woods during the Lupercalia. Now, with the Dark Lord's blessing, let the courting begin.
Now, when you look at Valentine's Day a little deeper, you see that it is based off of something called the Eve of Lupercalia. Now, the Eve of Lupercalia was an ancient festival giving honor to the god of fertility. But Eve of Lupercalia was changed by Pope Gelasius I into a Christian festival and celebration, and he declared February 14th to be St. Valentine's Day. Now, going back to Lupercus, he was the Roman god of fertility, and the festival that they had in the day for him was a festival in celebration of the anniversary of the founding of his temple, which was on February the 15th. This is worth noting because Lupercus is also known as Faunus, and this is the Roman equivalent of the Greek god Pan. Now, this is a little more familiar, and many of you may have heard of Pan before, but Pan is the Greek god of erotic sexuality, and he is a master of music to a degree because he used his little flute to seduce other spirits and women and things of that nature.
Step in, step in. Step this way if the most charming figure in the old Greek polytheistic mythology is Pan, the god of joy, combining the forms of man and goat.
It's a fake. It's gotta be.
But this Greek god Pan is half goat and half man. He is the old school archetype for what the Baphomet is based off of now. And we know the Baphomet is just the modern day image of Satan. It's widely used in the occult and in outright Satanism, and it represents all things filthy. Now, this god Pan is known as being one of the oldest of the gods as well. So he's been around for a long time. He's the father of bestiality and anything perverted. He's often depicted as having intercourse with goats and other animals. He's just the father of filth when it comes to sexuality. Note that this is not the equivalent of love or eros love, which is the love between a man and a woman in the context of marriage which God intended it. This is just perverted filth that the world would call love. Remember that Scripture does tell us that we are not supposed to take on to traditions of pagan peoples. And we also know in the Scriptures it says that, obedience is better than sacrifice. So we're not necessarily supposed to do the things that we think are good and, oh, it's okay and it's fine. We're supposed to really try to do right in God's eyes. Now, it's interesting to note that there were 3 different Catholic leaders that had the name Valentine. It's not exactly certain which one of these the day was named for, but it is interesting to note that all 3 Valentine figures were said to have been killed on February 14th. So I don't know if that's just a unique coincidence or what. But looking at it, at the root of it, Valentine's Day is just a pagan holiday to give honor to a filthy, bestiality-loving demon. Really think about that. And at its very best, it's a cash grab by corporations that love to push consumerism. Buy, buy, buy. You never have enough. Keep up with the Joneses. Give us your money. And we know that the love of money is the root of all evil. All evil in the world, at its root, just the general idea of iniquity and evil has its roots in money, or the love of money. Now, there's nothing wrong with love, and even eros love between a man and a woman. This is the love that leads to marriage, and so it's the foundation of the family. As a woman, if you meet a man, of course, you think he's attractive, you think that he's smart, you think that he's funny. Of course, he's going to be sexy to you, and all of these things. And likewise, us guys, when you meet a woman, man, she looks good. She's so smart. She's just the sweetest thing ever. That's going to be sexy to you as well. And Eros love is set up to be a good thing in the eyes of God, in the confines of marriage. And this type of love leads to marriage. But we should regularly express our love to each other, not just once a year on a pagan holiday for a demon. If you really think about that, we should show our love every single day to the people that are important to us in our lives. It doesn't have to be this marketing holiday that's set aside by this pagan world. Remember that friendship with the world is enmity with God, as Scripture tells us. So we don't have to conform and fold to what the world promotes. Now, if you wanted to celebrate a special day, we even have anniversaries that we can do something special with a loved one on. You know, this is the day that you got married to someone or you met someone. And so this is an important person in your life. And you can set aside this time. You can go out to eat dinner. You can go somewhere special, go on a trip or whatever it may be. And that within your own home is your own little personal holiday. That's fine. And that would be blessed by God. But we don't need the world to tell us that we need to show our love for each other by buying cards and candy and going out to eat on the eve of a holiday that's set aside to give honor to Lupercus or Pan. So it pays to be aware of this stuff. Show love to each other every single day. If you're a man, show your wife that you love them. If you're a woman, show your husband that you love them. Do it in a godly manner, and he will bless your family for it.